Tiffy wins the gold. It is once again Tiffy time. And we have three title matches coming to us on this upcoming week's AEW Dynamite that are huge and should absolutely have your attention. Before we get into that, let's go ahead and recap what happened in the world of wrestling this current week. We had three different championships change hands. Of course, Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown defeated Julia for the Women's United States Championship. I want to have hope that this title can do everything that the Women's Intercontinental Championship is doing on Raw. And I think putting the belt on Tiffany Stratton is like the perfect opportunity, right? It was solid. It was fine. It wasn't amazing, but it was solid. We had a solid Tiffany Stratton WWE Women's Championship reign last year. And now we have her as the Women's United States Championship, and she has her work cut out for her. She has the mid card title that has yet to be established for the women, right? I feel like any woman on the roster can win the Women's Intercontinental Championship because the likes of Lyra Valkyria, Becky Lynch, as well as AJ Lee have made that belt mean something on Raw. That hasn't exactly happened on SmackDown. Don't get me wrong, Chelsea Green is the inaugural Women's United States Champion, and she did a great job the both times that she held the championship. But we didn't get much from the recently released Zelina Vega when she was champion. We'll get to those releases. We didn't get much from Julia at all. She was champion twice. So now we have the belt on Tiffy, somebody that we know WWE wants to make a huge star, somebody that the fans are over with. And I think it's, perfect time. It's a perfect time to get this belt rolling in terms of momentum, right? Let's have Tiffy defend this title on SmackDown, on premium live events, once or twice a month. I'm hoping for. That's all you got to do. Nothing too crazy, right? But I'm excited nonetheless. I think the pairing of Tiffany Stratton and the Women's United States Championship is a good pairing, and as long as you ring the bell and give her some reps, this will be good. This will be fine. There were two other title changes, right? One came on NXT. The WWE Speed Championship was vacated due to injury, if I'm not mistaken, and Lexis King was able to win the vacant Speed Championship. Good win for Lexis King, formerly known as Brian Pillman Jr. on AEW. He's been doing fantastic on NXT. I will say that. He's been way better on NXT than he was in AEW. And now he's got some gold with this unique title, the Speed Championship, which I personally think is a lot of fun. I'm not going to lie. I think this title is a lot of fun. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I think Lexis King is getting some good developmental reps over there at NXT, and this Speed Championship is only going to amplify that and give us some good, 5 to 10 minute matches. I like the concept of WWE Speed. It didn't work out on Twitter, so now it's a part of NXT, and I think it's fine. I think it's good. I think it's a good way to practice if you're an NXT wrestler that needs development and is not quite ready for the North American Championship. The Speed Championship is good. Last but not least, in Japan, we had the Ichiban Sweet Boys regain the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship. These titles have been coming off and on of the Ichiban Sweet Boys, and I don't mean to say that negatively. I think tag team wrestling over in New Japan has been very solid. But nonetheless, yeah, Ichiban Sweet Boys have the gold once again, and we'll see what the future holds in store for the Ichiban Sweet Boys and the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. Those were the three big title changes that took place in the world of wrestling this past week. And now we get into the news, and we have quite a bit of news. Some interesting, some negative, some positive. Let's just get into it, man. And we start with, just coming hours out of WrestleMania. A lot of people have had questions about TKO's involvement creatively in WWE programming. And Mark Shapiro of TKO claims that TKO has full creative control. Not Triple H, not the creative team, TKO. And that makes sense, right? After what we saw with Cody and Randy, which was an absolute botch. The match was fantastic. Like the bell-to-bell action, except for the finish, was actually really good. Cody and Randy have perfect chemistry. I would even go as far to say, if there wasn't the Pat McAfee nonsense, hell, if the finish made sense, I think that we would be saying Cody versus Randy should have main evented night 2. Don't get me wrong. Roman versus Punk was everything it needed to be, and it was awesome. This is just a testament to how good Cody and Randy are in the ring. So if they're good in the ring and they have a story that's built up for 20 years, why feel the need to touch it? You leave that shit alone. I've won over this for the past month. You leave that shit alone. We know they're going to deliver a good match. They did. We know they have a naturally built-in story. They do. But no, we feel the need to add Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll and all this other stupid shit, and we mess it up to the point where the finish doesn't even make sense. It looks like, Randy Orton last-minute RKOs Pat McAfee and then loses one of the main events to WrestleMania. It's stupid. It's stupid. You had all this potential. Like I said, Cody versus Randy was the story. The story. You got a couple more of the stories, right? You got Roman versus Rollins. You got, I think, CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes, which they tease is good. You got Roman versus Fatu, which has been teased, which is really good. You have stories. It's not like this is the only story. Like, don't get it twisted, but ultimately, this is such a special story for so many fans that have been watching the product for decades at this point, and you go and you shit the bed with it. Well, what are you doing? What are you doing? Apparently, that's all TKO, and that makes sense because we know Triple H is a competent, creative booker. We've seen it for years. We saw it in WrestleMania 39. We saw it in WrestleMania 40. WrestleMania 41 is really where we got iffy with it, but I enjoyed WrestleMania 41. And honestly, I enjoyed WrestleMania 42 as well. I just did not enjoy the finish to the night 1 main event, ultimately. I'm pretty positive. I was cool with the John Cena heel turn and the fact that he won the championship at WrestleMania. I lived with it. I was okay with it. I'm not saying I loved it. I was okay with it. It was good. It was fine. But yeah, this Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton main event was abysmal, I will say. Once again, I know I'm beating a dead horse, but I think it's necessary at this point. It was abysmal. It pissed me off. And I haven't felt this negative about the WWE product in years, to be honest with you. And all this momentum for Cody, gone. All this momentum for Randy, gone. They've been building up momentum for both wrestlers for years. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Well, it makes sense now, actually, because TKO does have full creative control over WWE. So anytime you see some stupid shit happening, leave Triple H out of it, honestly. Why would Triple H do that? Okay, it seems like he's getting his hands tied by TKO, by Mark Shapiro, Ari Emanuel, and all those other clowns. Just collect your money and shut up. As I don't remember who said that in the community, but if you are on the TKO board, right, collect your money, shut up. Let Triple H handle it. He knows what he's doing. He's proven it. I don't understand why we're doing this. I don't understand why we wasted one of the greatest stories that the modern WWE has had to tell. They wasted it. All right. We got some NXT call-ups on Raw and SmackDown. It was the Raw after WrestleMania and the SmackDown after WrestleMania. So as you know, we always get a handful of NXT call-ups. So the call-ups on Raw are All Ego Ethan Page, Sol Ruca, and Joe Hendry. Fantastic. All Ego Ethan Page had a good match with Javon Evans. Sol Ruca had a fantastic match on Raw as well, which was an excellent showing. I'm so excited for Sol Ruca on Raw. And Joe Hendry is going to make his Raw debut next week. And then on SmackDown, we had Fatal Influence. I think it's time for them to come up to the main roster. I'm excited for JC Jane on SmackDown. It's going to be a breath of fresh air. I think it's going to be fantastic, along with her colleagues that make up the 3-woman faction, Fatal Influence. I'm sorry. We also have Ricky Saints going to SmackDown. I think that'll be a good proving ground for him. And Blake Monroe. She will also be on the SmackDown women's roster. SmackDown gets an abundance of new women's wrestlers, and I think that'll be fantastic. They really need it. They really need to get their show back to 2 hours as well. That's coming in June, if I'm not mistaken, so that'll be fantastic. But obviously, the 3-hour SmackDown didn't work. I think Raw and SmackDown should be 2 hours, with Raw being on Netflix. If you want to go 2.5 hours on Raw, whatever, 2 hours and 40 minutes, that's fine. But filling out a 3-hour show week after week, it's not healthy for the brand. It's not healthy for the stories. It's not healthy for the wrestlers. So I'm glad SmackDown's going back to 2 hours. They seem to have some fantastic women being added to the SmackDown women's roster in Fatal Influence and Blake Monroe. And then Ricky Saints will also be a delight to watch on Friday nights. So yeah, it's always exciting to see who came up after WrestleMania. And I'm excited for Sol Ruca in particular, Blake Monroe, of course, and Joe Hendry on Raw, of course. That'll be awesome. All right. I don't know if I should include this or not, but we've all heard what being in Las Vegas was like for a WWE superstar during WrestleMania week. These fans, really, these marks, these losers, are swarming them in casinos, in restaurants, in hotel lobbies. No security, no fucks given. Fuck the wrestlers. It's all about TKO. It's all about the money, is what we see from this current WWE initiative campaign, if you will. And I hate it, right? There's two parts I hate. Part number one, get these guys some security. You're making record money. You're making record money and you're working the company in a way that saves the most money, which we'll get to with the releases, of course. So hire some security. Take care of these superstars, all right? You, how do I say this? How do I say this? I don't want to say brainwash, but you program these fans to be absolute marks, right? You program these fans to worship and idolize these superstars, and then you don't give these superstars any protection the week of Las Vegas, where fans are going to be and wrestlers are going to want to be during the week. Maybe hitting the tables, God, even in the hotel lobby, just getting an Uber. Protect these fans, okay? If you're going to program your fans to be a bunch of mindless marks that surround wrestlers in public and have no freaking human decency to leave these people alone when they're not working, then you got to give them some security. You got to do something. That's pathetic. This isn't your first WrestleMania. This isn't even your first TKO WrestleMania. What are we doing? That's my message to TKO. My message to the fans is this. I know I said some negative things about you just seconds ago. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to be constructive, okay? To you, the fans that are swarming these wrestlers in public, trying to have them sign 50 things, having no basic decency for a human being on their leisure time, know this. We call them WWE superstars. What they are human beings. Human beings with families, human beings like you and me that just want some leisure time when they're not working. Can they get that leisure time with you swarming them, selfishly floating around them like a bunch of angels coming off the ground, floating like an angel, idolizing them? Can they get their leisure time? Can this human being get their leisure time in Las Vegas, one of the most fun cities to be in? What are you taking from that human being when you do that? Now, I understand you've been watching Raw and SmackDown every week. You've been programmed to idolize these wrestlers, these human beings, and you get excited. I've been excited meeting wrestlers before. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't be excited to meet them. I'm saying have some basic human decency. Say hello. They'll wave at you. You don't need to swarm them. You don't need to do all this extra stuff. Come on, guys. Stuff like this doesn't make me proud to be a part of this community. I'm going to be straight up. This is not something I would do to a wrestler. In fact, I've ran into several wrestlers in public over the years, just doing random stuff, primarily being in the same city as WrestleMania. That's where that happens. But when that happens, when I ran into Scott Hall, rest in peace, I gave him a 2 sweet, said, hey, who do you want to win? Young Bucks or Hardys, Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor? He said, oh, Hardys. All right, have a good day, bro. You don't need to swarm him, right? Jake the Snake Roberts, I saw him walking on the street. I didn't even say hi to him. He just looked like he was relaxing. He looked like he didn't want to be bothered. It's Jake the Snake. I didn't say hi. I just kind of checked him out. Oh, cool. Jake the Snake Roberts. All right. Looks like he's having a good afternoon. Whatever. Have some decency, guys. Okay? I know it's tempting. All right? I know you see the Hardys and you're like, oh my God, I need to be within 2 feet of them or whatever. Nah, you don't. Okay? You can probably say hi. They'll probably wave at you. That's fine. You don't need to be recording them. You don't need to be swarming them. You don't need to be asking them for 50 autographs. Let them live their leisure time. All right? Seriously. We as a community need to get better at that. Okay? And maybe throwing all those names at the people that were doing that type of stuff wasn't constructive. Okay? But I'm trying to be constructive now. I'm trying to say, leave these human beings alone when they're not working. All right? All right. Let's continue. We got two more pieces of news before we get into the watch list. And then, of course, the top 20 champions of wrestling. Lucha Underground has been gone for about 8 years. And they are hinting at a return to the world of professional wrestling. Guys, how exciting is that? Ultimately, I have no idea what Lucha Underground is going to look like in 2026 or 2027 or 2028 whenever they're able to get this thing off the ground again. I have no idea what that's going to look like, right? Because you got the stars of Lucha Underground elsewhere, right? Prince Puma is now Ricochet in AEW. Rey Mysterio is in WWE. Penta is in WWE. Jeff Cobb or JC Mateo is in WWE, who is a big Lucha Underground star. I don't know what this is going to look like. I don't know if it's going to lean towards TKO or AEW. They'd be fine either way, AEW being wrapped up with CMLL, and then, of course, WWE or TKO owning AAA. What I do know is this. If Lucha Underground is to return, then we will be firing on every single possible cylinder there is to fire on when it comes to Mexican Lucha Libre, right? You got AAA being owned by the WWE, arguably one of my favorite TKO products. I like AAA more than I like the main roster sometimes. And then you got CMLL aligned with AEW while also keeping their heritage intact, right? CMLL operates with AEW on a dual contract status for these wrestlers, which means CMLL gets to continue doing their own thing, continue enriching their legacy, enriching their heritage. And then if AEW would like a wrestler from CMLL, then they would simply create a dual contract that pays and operates for both CMLL and AEW. And now AEW coexists in the world of CMLL. CMLL loses no stars and has no pressure to do anything, to change anything, right? CMLL is doing well, AAA is doing well, and if Lucha Underground comes in the mix, oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. I'll probably be more of a Lucha Libre fan than anything. I'll probably enjoy Lucha Libre more than I'll enjoy WWE and AEW. Well, that's a hot take. We'll have to see. But honestly, yeah, it's just good to see the Lucha Libre scene flourishing, right? There was a time where AAA was borderline unwatchable for years, and that kind of came with the creation of AEW, right? When AEW was created, they really took a lot of AAA's stars, and AAA was not easy to watch. It was painful to watch, actually. It was boring. It was sloppy. That's no longer the case as AAA works very closely with WWE. You'll see a lot of luchadors from the WWE main roster or wrestlers from the WWE main roster on AAA every Saturday. And then CMLL has always been great, but CMLL wasn't exactly accessible to the American audience in a solid way at all. They changed that more and more as time went on. They made themselves available on YouTube. Now they're going to make themselves available on FS1, right, starting this past Friday. And now they operate with AEW. The best stars of CMLL are going to get dual contracts and appear on AEW, like Hechicero, the CMLL World Heavyweight Champion, Persephone, the CMLL World Women's Champion, Máscara Dorada, Mystico. You know, we're going to get the best of CMLL on AEW, and we're going to start getting CMLL Super Viernes on FS1. So it's too exciting, honestly. It's way too exciting, the future of AAA, the future of CMLL, and now Lucha Underground making its return. Oh, come on now. This is awesome. All right. The last thing we have is the release of several stars out of WWE. It goes like this. The main roster releases for WWE, just the main roster, go as follow. Kairi Sane, Aleister Black, who he's been building and just have nothing to do with a year later. Silly. Zelina Vega. Hate to see her go. The whole Wyatt Six, right? Uncle Howdy, Nikki Cross, Dexter Loomis, Eric Rowan, Joe Gacy, What are we doing? Santos Escobar, gone. He had potential. Motor City Machine Guns, gone. Why would you get rid of the Motor City Machine Guns? Why would you get rid of the Motor City Machine Guns? Zoe Stark, who I believe is injured, Alba Fire, and Apollo Crews, all gone. Another exodus done by WWE and TKO. Another main roster cleanup. Releasing people that don't need to be released. Seriously, you couldn't find anything for the Motor City Machine Guns? You couldn't find anything for the Wyatt Six? There are easy solutions to the problems that WWE faces in featuring these talents that just got released. How do you release Kyrie? She's in the middle of a huge story with Asuka and Io Sky. And yes, she is a part of that story. I was looking forward to the Kyrie Sane versus Asuka match at SummerSlam this year. We should have got it. Hey, man. Just know this. TKO and by default WWE have shown who they want to be. They want to be greedy scum who happen to have a wrestling show. Greedy scum who happen to have a wrestling show. I'm at a loss for words at this point. I get a ick in my stomach when I see the TKO ick on the WWE product. Right? We see that with mass releases have always been a thing, right? I don't think it's a good practice, and I think that this mass release that WWE did was more shocking than any of the other ones, right? You're losing a prominent faction that you have done nothing with, but has limitless potential in the Wyatt Six. You have a legendary tag team in the Motor City Machine Guns that you can easily have some 3-hour TV. SmackDown is 3 hours. Let me just not get into this rant right now because I can feel myself like losing my point. I'm just trying to say, you got a 3-hour show on SmackDown. You get rid of all these people. You got talented wrestlers on this list. It kind of just seems like you're releasing people for the sake of releasing people, which is freaking stupid. All right. You're releasing people that you just invested all of 2025 in. All of 2025 was invested in Aleister Black. You got Kyrie Sane in a big story. You got the Wyatt Six putting on some solid television against the MFTs over the past several months. Motor City Machine Guns, I think people would have enjoyed a second run with the WWE Tag Team Championship by them, but no. It's yeah, we're just going to move on because I have nothing good to say about this. And honestly, yeah, let's just move on. I'm at a loss for words. Let's get into the watch list, guys. Not a crazy week this week. We did have those 3 title matches on AEW Dynamite, which we're going to get to. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and stop at NXT on Tuesday, as Miles Bourne will defend the North American Championship against Saquon Sugars, which will be a fantastic match, of course. And then, of course, New Japan Pro Wrestling Road to Wrestling Dontaku. We're going to have Daouki defend the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship against Tiger Mask. And now what we've all been waiting for, right? AEW Dynamite this week. It's going to be fantastic. 3 title matches. The first one is Kevin Knight versus MJF for the TNT Championship. This is going to be one of the first times, if not the first time, that MJF wrestles for the TNT Championship. Very excited to see that. Darby Allin is going to defend the AEW World Championship against Brody King. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. This is going to be a good match. Darby Allin and Brody King, as we know at this point, have fantastic chemistry, and now they're fighting for the AEW World title at a point in time where both of them are world-class wrestlers for AEW. And then last but not least, we have Divine Dominion defending the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship against Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander. Another solid match. I'm liking the pairing of Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander. I think they have every right to win these titles, and it would be cool to see them win these titles. And Divine Dominion has been doing a great job. Carrying the momentum that the Babes of Wrath created for these new AEW Women's World Tag Team titles. So we have some good stuff here on Dynamite. Very fun. All right. With the bullshit that TKO is giving us, with the uncertainty of the world of wrestling, AEW is really firing on all cylinders right now, and I really don't have any bad things to say about it. Like, I used to have bad things to say about AEW, particularly regarding the way they use or don't use or didn't use at the time the World Trios Championship. Now those are active, fun, fantastic titles that they've figured out how to use. You know, women's world tag team titles have been good. TNT Championship continues to excel to the point where you have MJF wrestling for it, which is huge. Especially in 2026. You know, Darby's the world champion, and they did a good job crowning him. And now he is defending the title on Dynamite, 2 for 2 as world champion, defending the title on Dynamite. They're doing such good work. John Moxley is the Continental Champion. That Continental Championship means something, right? The International Championship on Okada is consistent. The National Championship on Jack Perry is consistent. Like, all their titles are freaking good right now. All of them. There's not a bad title in AEW right now. It's crazy. It's awesome. It's cool to see a company that used to just diss WWE every chance they got. And obviously that didn't get over well with the fans, because fans who like AEW also like WWE to a certain capacity. They learn from that. They learn from mistakes that they've made. They take their time to learn how to book championships well and consistently. They focus on them, just them, and look at them. They're the best wrestling show in the world right now. And that wasn't always the case. WWE was the best wrestling show in the world for years. It's only very recently that AEW kind of took that crown back. Very exciting stuff here. Now, before I let you go, let's get into the top 20 champions of wrestling. All right. Of course, this is based off of work rate. This is based off of what, everyone? This is based off of work rate. All right. This has metrics to it. Does it have subjectivity to it? Oh, yeah. But I try to balance it. I try to be fair. And I do spend a lot of freaking time wrapping my head around what this list should look like and what this list should be. And I'm pretty proud of it. I'm pretty proud of the leaps and bounds it's taken. I'm proud of my focus on presenting a viable, consistent list of the top 20 champions of wrestling. So let's get into the honorable mentions before we get into the top 20. All right. Not in any order. We have the New Japan Pro Wrestling World Television Champion Konosuke Takeshita. We have the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Athena. We have the undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. We have the AEW International Champion Kazuchika Okada. The AEW World Tag Team Champions FTR. The WWE ID Women's Champion Laney Luck. CMLL World Heavyweight Champion Echisetto. X Division Champion of TNA Leon Slater. Ring of Honor World Champion Bandito. CMLL Light Heavyweight Champion Mystico, TNA World Champion Mike Santana, AAA World Tag Team Champions Pagano and Psycho Clown, Ring of Honor Women's Pure Champion Deonna Purrazzo, the Strong Openweight Women's Champion, or I believe it's just the New Japan Strong Women's Champion Alex Windsor, TNA Knockouts Women's World Tag Team Champions, or excuse me, yeah, it's Knockouts World Tag Team Champions, Elegance Brand. And the Evolved Champion, Aaron Rourke. Okay, now we get into the top 20. All right, that was in no order. Those are honorable mentions. If I said their name, they're doing fantastic. Not quite in the top 20, but still enjoyable. Okay, now, at spot number 20, we have the WWE Tag Team Champions, Damian Priest and R-Truth. Spot number 19, we have the Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion, Red Velvet. Okay, at number 18, we have the Knockouts World Champion of TNA, Ariana Grace. And at number 16, we have the NXT Tag Team Champions, Vanity Project. Number 15, we have the AEW National Champion, Jack Perry. Number 14, we have the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Paige and Brie Bella. Number 14, we have the NXT Women's Champion, Lola Vice. Number 13, we have the NXT Champion, Tony D'Angelo. Number 12, we have the North American Champion, Miles Bourne. And at number 11, we have the Women's North American Champion, Tatum Paxley. We get into the top 10 here. At number 10, we have the CMLL World Women's Champion, who appears on AEW and CMLL, Persephone. Number 9, we have the TBS Champion, Willow Nightingale. Number 8, we have the AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions, Divine Dominion. Number 7, we have the AEW World Trios Champion, The Conglomeration. Number 6, we have the TNT Champion, Kevin Knight. All right, getting into the top 5 here. At number 5, we have the AEW Women's World Champion, Tekla. And at number 4, we have the Continental Champion of AEW, Jon Moxley. And getting up to the podium here, at the 3rd spot, we have the Intercontinental Champion, Penta. At number 2, we have the AEW World Champion, Darby Allin. And at number 1, we have the World Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns. It's a situation where the championship reigns that are going well for WWE are going really well in terms of Penta and Roman Reigns. And then AEW across the board has found a way to be consistent and unique ways with each and every one of their championships, for the most part at least. Right? So that is why the top 10 is flooded with AEW wrestlers. But when you get to the top 3, only one of those AEW wrestlers is up there, Darby Allin, and the other 2 are WWE, Roman Reigns and Penta. And I think that's fair. I think that's very fair. Yeah, that's it. That's wrestling, guys. This has been the Wrestling is Bullshit podcast. We'll talk soon. Not too much in the pipeline. I think when we get into May, we'll have Backlash early on, and then we'll get Double or Nothing later. And those will be our big shows. So we'll get there, but nonetheless, we're just coming off of WrestleMania still. So it's a good time to relax. It's a good time to refresh your wrestling fandom, right? Because it's easy to burn out in this world of professional wrestling. That's my number one advice to wrestling fans. Like, do not burn out because it's so freaking easy, right? All right. All right, fellas. I'll talk to you guys later. Be good and be happy. Peace out.